Okay, everyone will call this Economic Development and Tourism Special Advisory Committee to order. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interests? Seeing none, let's close. May I have an approval of the agenda, November 6, 2025? Okay, Joanne and Ed, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Approval of the minutes of the last meeting, September 22nd, 2025. Ed and Joanne again, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. The delegation/presentation this afternoon are the quarterly updates from staff. Please go ahead.
Thank you for being here today. This is not working. There it is. Okay, here we go. Too fast. Okay, so my name is Luisa Sorrentino. I'm the Economic Development Officer with the City of Quinte West, and I'll just give you a very quick update on what we've been working on lately. So we had a very successful Working Quinte Career Fair where we had at least scanned 560 candidates. Some of them did not have the ability to be scanned with a QR code, but we had 46 employers with jobs that were available at the career fair, and we had about 6 service agencies like Community Employment Services, Meta, and Career Edge, and so forth. It was very successful. We have had great feedback from that career fair. We've also completed the intake for the second CIP intake for this year for the retail and commercial, and we've received 7 applications. We have also met with the reviewing committee, and we're in the process of getting some. We're missing certain materials and certain parts of their application, but we are progressing with that. 3 of the applications were approved without any other follow-ups, and we're following up with the rest. Next is the Community Improvement Plan for the Industrial Lands, which is also a work in progress. We've received the hopefully final draft, and we'll be doing a public meeting on December 3rd at Council. So you will see a presentation from Sierra Consulting on that day and learn more about the Industrial Land CIP. Next is our Shop Local campaign, which we've been working on, and we have been gathering assets in a variety of shops and restaurants and cafes so that we can use those pictures for our continuous campaign, Shop Local, on our website, social media, and some of the boards that you see around town as well. We're also going to start a radio campaign, which will start on the 20th, because it is more important than ever to remind people to shop local at Christmas time. Next is our Invest in Quinte West, which I mentioned last time as well, which we will be launching November 20th, which is our new and first CT podcast, where we will be interviewing people that are leaders in the region and organizations that help support economic development growth in the region. This will be available on any podcast platform where you can get your podcast of choice. And we have submitted the ROD application for the Rural Economic Development grant to hopefully complete a BR&E for the commercial sector in Quinte West for the first quarter of 2026. The last time this was done was completed in 2021, but as you all know, we had different circumstances because it was during the COVID pandemic era. So we're really hoping to get this funding, and we should know between January and February. And yeah, the farmers market update. So we had a very successful season at the farmers market. We had about 26 registered, but at least 20 came every Saturday. Now the steering committee has met with staff at the end of October, and they are going to meet again at the beginning of December so that they can elect some of their representatives or liaison with us, the city, so that we can define what are the next steps for the market for the next season. That's it for me. Do you guys, are you coming here or no? No, okay. Do you guys have questions for me?
Joanna, go ahead.
Is there any way of tracking at this Quinte West career, program? Is there any way of tracking how many people actually got jobs and that sort of thing?
So thank you for the question, and through you, Mr. Chair. We are working on improving our platform. So right now, we just created, not the city, but through the Bay of Quinte and in partnership with the City of Belleville, a platform that's called Working Quinte, which is also a website, but also helps us with creating those profiles for the candidates that come to the career fair. So we're trying to figure out a better, more robust back end of the website so that we can track all those things that it's just a great question, because that's exactly what we're working on. And we're actually meeting with Doug next week. There he is. Next week to even check on, some of the things that we have learned through this first utilization of this scanning program. So to see, for instance, who came, how old are they, what is their demographic, what is their level of education. So we'll try and figure out more as we go through, but we also have to do a little bit of fine tuning when it comes to the programming in the back end of the website. So yes, we're working on it.
That's good, because I think that would be really good to get
sure.
those statistics on
For
that.
sure.
And then you're talking about the improvement plan. Are they, the 3 applications, are they for the facade? So they're all for the facade?
So there is one that is for renovations, but we have required more documentation to support that one in particular. But the other ones are less than $12,500, and so staff has delegated. We
Some of the
delegated
reports
to
need to go.
approve some,
Yes.
like not us, but the committee, as a committee, to approve some of those for the facades, and the majority could be signs.
Yeah. Is
But
it predominantly downtown, or is it anywhere in Quinte West?
I would say yes.
Okay, well, that's good. I think that's really good. And one more question, your shop local, has the businesses seen an uptake since the campaign?
That's something I couldn't comment on.
Yeah, we haven't
No?
really done a survey to see yet.
Okay.
But, that is a very good
probably a
point.
good-
Perhaps we can send out like a survey after Christmas or maybe in the new year to see whether
It's
there are
actually
some
working or not.
comparables between
Yeah.
last year and this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
thank-
very good. Thank you so much.
Okay, any questions online? No, there are none. Okay, and there's no correspondence. So items for committee consideration.
Sorry.
Oh.
Mr. Chair, there's still more to the
Go
presentation.
ahead, yeah, go ahead.
I just thought I would sneak back. I know Louisa missed just a little slide here. But on October 20th, in collaboration with the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce, staff attended the launch of the Quinte Small Business Week, and on the following day, brought municipal greetings at the Navigating the Bay of Quinte Market workshop, which was at the Tremport Marina. The city also helped sponsor this. That week concluded with the QBBA event at the National Air Force Museum of Canada, which celebrated many businesses in the Bay of Quinte region, and we even brought home some hardware through Quinte West ourselves, like businesses in Quinte West, sorry. Next is a tourism wayfinding strategy. update. The consultant, plural, was in attendance last night at our council meeting, and they did the presentation of the final draft report. And, excuse me, there was a staff report that accompanied the presentation with the recommendation to approve the strategy, and also asked for a 3-year implementation with a budget amount required to fulfill that option, as well as create a pay-to-play stakeholder program. So those 3 items were basically the recommendation, or were within the recommendation. Unfortunately, it was deferred by council until budget deliberation. So we will have to wait until December to know what the outcome of that is. And the Pop-Ups Holiday Market is coming up in a month's time. Will take place December 6th and 7th. There was a ton of vendor interest in participating in the market this year. We had about 35 to 40 applications, so that was really great for us. Hard, though, to decide which ones should come in. But we have selected 14 retail vendors and 2 food vendors. They will be in the sheds, and one of the food vendors will be in a shed with a food truck option as well, as makes up the 2 different food vendors. With our new shed that we have had this year with our visitor info center, we are going to make that Santa's workshop. The event will feature visits with Santa, face painting, cookie decorating, games, selfie spots, a full roster of entertainment, including Andy Forgy on the Sunday, and he's always a fairly big draw. We're working with a special events team with the featured Holly Trolley event that takes place on Saturday evening, which will see people going on the Kingston trolleys from several different places, the Doug Whitney Fantasy of Lights in Trenton, over to the holiday market, and then to Frankfurt to their holiday market, and kind of doing the circuit there so people can go and see Interchange and have a whole night full of different activities and lights that they can enjoy. We're also working on ways in which we can cross-promote with the Rotary Club's Festival of Trees that will be taking place at the Marina on the same weekend. Something new this year that came up was the Ontario Adventure Rowing Club's Icicle Chase, and Suzanne brought this to us, or brought it to our attention because of the docks. Of course, they were just about ready to come out, and we needed to keep them in for this particular event, but it looked like it was a blast. It was hosted by the Trenton Rowing and Paddling Club on October the 18th. The event had 25 participants from Toronto, Kingston, and Quinte West. I believe the Ottawa ones weren't able to make it that particular day, but they did have some folks from Ottawa that were planning on attending. So I guess that makes up 5 boats because there's 5 in each boat. The event started at the gateway to the Trent Bridge and went through the Murray Canal to Brighton Swing Bridge and back again. I think it was considered a half marathon style for that particular genre. And the teams finished with a celebratory meal at Wahoo's Cafe, so it was within walking distance, but we did get some, obviously, value to our restaurants that day. And we did put together a little bit of welcome packaging for them with discovery guides, and we put in a protein treat from La Cultural Salumi, as a taste of Quinte West for them to enjoy. And the organizers do hope to increase the number of participants next year and are keeping Quinte West near the top of their list as a site for to host again. I did report on this in the last meeting, but for the fall exhibit of Art on the Trent, we've curated an exhibit of artwork titled Canada, True North, Strong and Free. This is a celebration of unity through Canada's landscapes, wildlife, and enduring cultural spirit with artists from the Bay of Quinte region. This has also been in partnership with Arts Quinte West. And the plan is to have the exhibit installed next week. But I did want to share some of the images with you. They're just absolutely beautiful. This isn't obviously even a full rendering of them, but it's an option for you guys to get out and really take in some of the artwork that speaks to the strength of Canada and just, yeah, it was remarkable artwork. We actually have 3 paintings too that were from the Kids Art Inclusion exhibit that was kind of distributed within City Hall and around the community. I believe 2 of them are kind of a maple leaf. There is actually only 3 that kind of had that theme to it. And I'm trying to remember what the third one, maybe a hockey one. So, but I'm sure the kids will be really excited to see their artwork in large scope on the installations on the Art in the Trent. And firms opened Quinte and Hastings. Again, reported on this the last time. I believe it had just happened. And, but we have had a meeting and kind of had a recap. So I just wanted to share back with the committee some of the stats that we had. I know committee member Joanna March was interested in some of the other facts that we had. So it did take place September 12th to the 14th. Visitors were invited to embark on a self-guided tour of participating locations and markets to meet the passionate growers, producers, and hosts behind the scenes. We did have 19 participating locations, and the actual visitors that we counted were 1,680. So it's safe to assume that we had over that many. And over 100 entries were received for the passport contest, where participants had to attend a minimum of 3 locations to be entered into a draw. And a lot of these were done by, like, they would be by family as opposed to individuals. So we know that represented a greater number of people as well. The marketing efforts, were a mixture of print and digital, with the heavier focus being on the digital and online advertisements, like through social media and like Facebook and Instagram. But we did have some print materials, and they were distributed in Hastings County Plowing Match and the Quinte exhibition. But next year, the focus will be more heavily on different areas that we can do to promote that event. Again, it was put together fairly quickly this year, so we have a lot of time now to plan for that and promote it far and wide. And I do know that it was on the radio as well. I think Doug himself was one of the ones that promoted it on the radio. And Doors Open actually was about to take place just before our last meeting, so I do have a little recap on Doors Open. It took place Saturday, October 4th from 10 to 4. The free event was part of the province-wide initiative by the Ontario Heritage Trust to create meaningful experiences and appreciation for the community's heritage. The self-guided tour, we had 14 stops with unique activities taking place at each, as well as a Quinte transit bus was chartered to accommodate the sites with limited parking. We had approximately 2,500 visitors attend this event as well. And there's some of the pictures here that you can see that some of the locations. Up at the top is Trenton Town Hall. To the right of that is the Ontario Genealogical Society, so people were fully engaged in that. Below is the Quinte Museum of Natural History, and they're new. You can see on the right side of the left side of the photo is a new exhibit about geology and rocks that they have. It kind of takes place and goes away around that corner, but and then on the right-hand side at the bottom is the old Wooler Scout Hall in. Or schoolhouse. It kind of has been used for both along the time. So, yeah, a lot of great feedback was provided. The old Wooler Schoolhouse did garner, even though it was a free event, it garnered $1,400. It's a little bit more than I reported in my report, but they updated that since then to go towards their different activities and things that they're going to be doing. That's going to be a remarkable new location for us to host different events and have a community center in that north end of town when it's finished. So we look forward to having them on the tour next year to see how much they've grown in the year since this year's doors open. So I will pass it over to Rebecca for the rest.
Good afternoon, folks. So it's my pleasure to round out today's update presentation and remind folks that the year's not over yet. It's been very eventful so far, and we have a great lineup of events still to come between now and the holidays. So on the screen here is just a recap. I shared much about many of these in our last presentation in September. There's more information about all of these events, the date, the time, the location, and how to get involved at quintewest.ca/winter activities. Highlights include the 2 Santa Claus parades. The city delivered pop-up holiday market that Jen spoke about, at which we will also be featuring our Holly Trolley for the Saturday evening with trips between Trenton and Frankfurt Festival of Lights. We have the fan favorite holiday home tour as well operating within the period, and we will be accepting applications from those in the community who will be decorating their residences in festive holiday attire. Shortly, that information will come out from the city on our social channels next week. Next up, it's my pleasure to share some more information building on my update from our last meeting about events that the team is working on to bring to our event calendar next year. So as you'll recall, next year is a year of significance in Canada, in North America, and around the world for a variety of reasons, including the Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy. So to celebrate the Winter Games, Quinte West will be hosting its own winter sport themed weekend celebration in the 3 weekends starting in February. These are the same 3 weekends that coincide with the dates of the Winter Games, and we're working with a variety of community partners to secure themed activities around curling, skating, and skiing, which are 3 activities known in Quinte West that are also in the Olympics for competition. It's worth noting that our celebration is not a competition. This will be an opportunity for families and kids to come out, enjoy some free family fun, and participate in these activities as hosted at our community partners. More information will be available in the new year and can be found online, again, at quintewest.ca/winter activities. Next up for the new year, in keeping with the celebration of all things soccer in North America, with the World Cup coming to Canada, the US, and Mexico in the late spring, early summer, we will be resurrecting our fan favorite Soccer Central in Quinte West. So you may recall that we ran a very successful Soccer Central series of activities in Centennial Park last year as part of our U15 Canada Soccer Toyota National Championships. So we will be bringing back the brand and bringing back the free family fun with soccer-themed activities on the last weekend of June, which is a transition point in the World Cup schedule from the pre-games into, I believe, the finals that start just after July the 1st. So more information about how to get involved in Soccer Central will be shared in the early new year. The fun does not stop there. I have reported to this committee previously that at the end of Hops on the Water this past fall, we have retired Hops and are working to replace the celebration and the magic of that festival with one that will be very similar, but will bring some fresh takes on all things Quinte West by way of Quinte West's Fusion Fest. Fusion Fest will kick off Culture Days as part of our fall celebration next year, featuring outdoor live music, local vendors, food and beverages that celebrate all things Quinte West. We are looking, I know it's still very early, we're almost a year away, but we are looking for groups, vendors, breweries, and so on to get involved with us, and they can reach out to the events team at events@quintewest.ca to get in early with an application to be part of the new Fusion Fest. And in addition to all the new things that we're planning for next year, we have some returning fan favorites that we're doubling down on because we heard a lot of positive feedback about some of these activities coming out of the pilot from this past season. So at Quinte West Presents, part of our summer event series that happens in August at the amphitheater in Centennial Park, this year we piloted Medieval Madness. It was a raging success. We had such a wonderful turnout from the community, people dressed in Renaissance costumes, really leaning into the medieval theme, working with local partners and businesses from across Quinte West, Hastings County, and some of our neighboring communities, that the team heard loud and clear the community wanting Medieval Madness to return. So we are looking at a date in mid-October to bring back Medieval Madness as an annual recurring event in our seasonal event calendar. There will be more things medieval, as well as some of the other themes that kind of lean into the costume and seasonality of the late fall. So look for more information to be forthcoming next year about Medieval Madness. And then we have our regular schedule of tried and true fan favorites, starting in the early new year with our Skate and Social with Mayor and Council, scheduled for January 11th. This is a free family event at the Duncan McDonald Arena with free family skating and your opportunity to connect with Mayor and Council, share your vision and your goals for our community with them this year. followed then by the Winter Games activity in February that I shared, and the return of Family Fest in March. Family Fest will be on the Family Day, or excuse me, not on the Family Day weekend. Last year we moved it into March 15th in 2026. Frankfurt Riverfest will return, as well as the concert series and our popular 4 ward parties later in the summer. And Culture Days, as I mentioned, was new this year, will return next year, bigger, better. We're always looking for community arts and culture activities to partner with us for that event. So I've laid quite a foundation for how busy we are currently, looking already ahead into 2026. With that, I believe it brings us to the end of the presentation, and we'll welcome any further thoughts or comments from the committee.
Any questions? Brent, go ahead. We'll go online first.
Sure. So thank you, Mr. Chair. I just had a question, and maybe it was answered last meeting, but I noticed the boot tour was in the final year, and it seems to be like very popular online, and there's over 20 people and 20 houses that we had. So why are we canceling that?
Thank you. So through the chair to the committee member. So Boo Tour has been with us. It was a product that was created within the confines of COVID. And you're right, it has been very successful over the course of time. Now, what we had seen previous to this year was a general decline in participation. We had only 14 houses participate last year. Because we went out with the finale branding this year, we believe that that was a big stimulator for the level of interest this year that we saw. So certainly more participants this year than last year. Overall, though, we like to keep our community event calendar fresh. And so in order to make space within our staff capacity, our resourcing, and our budgeting for the new events that I've shared, we really do need to focus on retiring opportunities that may be very successful, but that can make space for building new memories within our community. I would, though, like to take the opportunity to invite the community, if there are any operators or businesses that would like to have a conversation with the events team about Boo Tour specifically, and potentially maintain that activity for the community. I know that when we look at what other municipalities are doing, sometimes transit services take on these types of opportunities, or libraries, for example. And so there would be certainly the opportunity for us to share some of the lessons learned if there are community groups that are looking to do something similar. And then on that note, what we have seen is just a shift in the Halloween approach over the course of time post-COVID. A lot of people are doing more trunk and treat style events. We're also seeing some private businesses like Homestead operate in that space. So we're confident that there are a lot of Halloween celebrations for our community to continue to engage in when we step away from Boo Tour.
Thank you.
Okay. Colleen?
Thank you. I just have a question about the Christmas marketplaces. I was looking online, and Belleville's is the same weekend. Do we ever try and coordinate with them so there's not competition with two areas so close?
Through the chair to committee member Colleen, we didn't do that this year, basically because we've had this event on the same weekend for the last the last 2 years. This is the third year that this event is on. Their event sometimes changes and morphs. For example, they had theirs lasting, I believe, 2 or 3 weekends last year over the course of the weekend. So no, we did not have conversations with them beforehand.
Thank you. One more quick question, if I may. For the activities around the Olympics, especially the February weekend, are you going to continue that onto Family Day or just a Friday, Saturday?
Thank you for the question. Through the chair to the committee member. At this time, our specific scheduling within the days of the weekends are still in flux as we have conversations with our partners that will host these activities on their property. Generally speaking, what we've heard from the partners, though, is that they already have their own Family Day activities scheduled that they have been historically committed to on that weekend over the course of time. So I think it's safe to say that the city itself would not be hosting any activities on Family Day. We would be looking to program either the Saturday and or the Sunday of the weekends that were listed on the slide.
Perfect. Thank you.
Shelley?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just two quick questions. The first one is with regards to the Rural Economic Development Grant, or it's got a different name now, it's called ROD. This was earlier in the presentation, talking about applying it to the BRNE for 2026. This is for the Business Retention Program. Was there any consideration given to apply for that grant for the signage, the way signage? Because the signage is pretty expensive right now, and you're right, it is being considered by council. And I know there was consideration of it being funded through the MAT tax, but I have seen those types of signage programs funded through the Rural Economic Development, and wondered if that was ever considered.
Through the chair to Councillor Stedall, the application was submitted a couple of months ago, or a month ago now anyway, so the timelines didn't align with the final draft of the wayfinding, but with the ROD, which is great, there's several intakes, so I know even with the presentation last night with council, we'll definitely be looking for funding, and that would be a really good source. I believe January, February is the next intake, but we have those dates, and we'll be applying for projects with that. They did advise not to apply for one program in one intake, because then you're competing with yourself. So the ministry representative had advised to just submit one project at a time.
Okay, thank you. And one other quick question was about the ward parties. I know in the past they've had the Sydney ward party in Bettawa, and I'm just wondering, that's one end of the ward. I'm wondering if there's an opportunity for this year in 2026 for it to be moved.
Thank you for the question through the chair to Committee Member Stedall. That's something we can certainly review with the events team. At this point in time, I'm not familiar with an alternative location that would allow us the event logistics, including parking, that would accommodate the crowd, but it's something we can certainly review.
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead, Joanna.
Two things, just for my information. Do we charge vendors for the pop-ups?
Yes, they are retail vendors, small businesses, but we do charge them a nominal fee.
Okay, I just wanted to know that. And I just wanted to say one other thing is the mural on the movie house there is fantastic. So I don't know if we were part of that or that was part of our improvement plan or whatever, but I think it looks very good. So I just wanted to say that.
Ed?
Yeah, there was a point about the tourism strategy report. I missed that altogether. So there was a company that presented a report yesterday. I know you said it wasn't approved, but can the public get a copy of that?
So through the chair to committee member, sorry.
Ed.
Yes. I can't see that far. I apologize. I knew I was going to blank there. I can definitely send you a draft copy of the final without it being approved, but just so that you can see the final copy, we can send that out.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we saw the presentation 2 meetings ago, where they
Wayfinding.
yeah, they took about 45 minutes.
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
not what
Okay.
we're asking for, though.
No, this is a
That's the
final
report.
draft of what we had already seen.
Of the wayfinding or the tourist?
Are you asking for that plural?
The tourist strategy.
Okay,
With sort of
Yeah, not the wayfinding.
okay.
with the budget of how they're spending or planning on spending the money. I guess that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the wayfinding tourism, the tourism wayfinding strategy, and it was in the council agenda from last night as well. So the full report and their presentation was in there as well, with some of the money is broken down into charts and all that good stuff within the report. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so keeping that in mind, we weren't allowed to speak last night because it was deferred. So I just would like to ask my question, just staff's point of view. They had different options to implement it 1 year, 2 year, or 3. If we implement it 3 years, and I know everyone's trying to save money, but it was an additional $30,000+. Was there consideration for the 2 year to implement all those signs? Plural broke it down, and they kept escalating to factor in inflation and among other things. So if we went the 3-year route to implement all these signs, it was the most costly.
Through you, Mr. Chair, or you are the chair. I believe that, yeah, it was to factor in inflation. However, it is a big job. We do have to, reach out to the stakeholders, find that pay-to-play model. So that may take some time and policy around that. But just a matter of getting everything exactly where we need to be and reach out to, Lower Trent Conservation and Parks Canada. Those take time too. So yeah, I mean, we thought the 3 years would be beneficial in terms of spreading the work out, and because we do have to involve our parks department and our some of the other departments within that to facilitate the whole project.
I can just add as well, as part of the procurement process, we were looking at doing it over the 3-year term as well. Obviously, it would require budget approval, but we would probably generate some savings if the procurement process was a project over 3 years and conditional upon budget approval. So we had discussed with finance and purchasing in regards to that to try and reap some savings as part of the project.
I'm not opposed to the 3 years. My only comment for consideration is by the time it's all finished, will we need to refresh the signs from year one? And then if a new council wanted to rebrand that symbol, are we considering not including, say, this Quinte West logo, but just sticking with the green signs that look attractive with the wooden? That's my fear. If we start this and everything changes and that kind of goes by the wayside.
So the current images do not include the Quinte West logo at this time, and that is the reason basically why too. We do have to obviously replace, like the ones that are in place now were from 2013, and they will potentially need to be replaced as time goes on as well. So that needs to be incorporated into the overall plan too. I think that was more or less incorporated into the plan, but they don't need to be replaced just yet. But probably within the 3 years, they'll probably need to be replaced too.
Thank you. And then just one question with Family Fest. Does that fall in the March break? And if so, would that be an attendance issue for you?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. Yes, so that was the date that I was struggling to come up with when I said Family Day. It is the first Sunday of March break. It has been the same date for the last, what will be 3 years next year, and it is very well attended. So I think we've found a niche in that window of time where families are looking for something to do.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, we will move on to Staff Report 25008 from the Economic Development and Tourism team.
Mr. Chair, we have gone through those updates in the presentation. We just wanted to include a report within the agenda for the committee's information.
But I do need a mover and a seconder for that to be received, correct?
To be received,
thank
yes.
you. Okay, Shelley and Brent, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. To receive it.
We did receive it?
Yeah, all in
Or
favor.
just
Yeah.
whatever they were saying?
Yes. Moving to resource updates, we'll start with Lisa, DBIA.
First, the DBI is proud to announce that Mary and Dave Collins, owners of J&B Books, were awarded Best Retail Business of 2025 at the Business Achievement Awards. This is a wonderful recognition of their hard work, creativity, and commitment to our downtown community. Although a private project for film.ca, the DBA has had lots of fantastic feedback over the Heritage Film mural that was finished up yesterday downtown, and we thank them for this. We thank them for taking on the project on their own. Our Ladies' Night was themed Mrs. Roper's Romp, and it was successful this year. The downtown was filled with laughter and fun and vibrant energy as participants dressed the part and enjoyed an evening of shopping. It was very well received this year. We had quite a few ladies come down, and downtown actually saw a different crowd than normal years, which was nice to see some new people. And when I say different crowd, we still had our ones that come every year, and we receive a lot of women from Peterborough area and Toronto that attend this event with their family here. On Saturday, October 25th, downtown Trenton was full of ghosts, goblins, and even a few Paw Patrol heroes during our downtown trick-or-treat event. We received fantastic feedback from both merchants and families who appreciated the community spirit. There also was a pet costume contest and a kids coloring contest. Was also a hit, with many noting how nice it was to see a coloring contest. It was a reminder of events that many of the older people that brought their children down, of things that they used to do when they were younger. I received 3 or 4 comments with that. Like, so many people were excited to see a coloring contest. Looking ahead, we're gearing up for the holiday season. Our Griswold Christmas Craze returns on November 20th, followed by our horse-drawn wagon rides running from December 15th to 23rd. We encourage everyone to come downtown, take part in the festivities, and continue supporting our amazing local businesses this Christmas season. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Suzanne?
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to start by saying we have received our CIP funds from the City of Quinte West, which we use to paint our building. So if anyone's been driving down Front Street, you'll notice that we've got a little bit of an updated look. So thank you. Thanks, Louisa. It was great to see that building get a refresh. And we are going to continue to put some new signage on there and make it look really good. I wanted to let you know that the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce has received our reaccreditation through the Accreditation Council of Canada. We're good now until 2030. That lets the community know that the Chamber of Commerce here in our community is operating at the highest standard, and we're doing all the things for our business community and for our community at large that a chamber should be doing. So very proud to have completed that. We are celebrating our 75th anniversary since we were incorporated under the Border Trade Act on November 27th. We're going to be at the Trent Port Marina. We invite everybody to come and join us as we celebrate. We've invited all of our past presidents that are still with us and our honorary lifetime members. Many of these are leaders throughout in our community to join us for that celebration. We are also saying goodbye to Jennifer Snyder, who has been at the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce for 20 years, and she is retiring, and we're wishing her well. But it's going to be a new staff at the chamber, and I know we've actually found her a great candidate, and we look forward to introducing her to the community at the November 27th event. And, of course, Santa Claus Parade is coming up on November 30th, which is the Sunday afternoon. And so we've been working at getting the community involved in that through donations and sponsorships. We have lots of businesses that are supporting the event through in-kind logistics as well. We could not do the parade without the support of the city, without the support of the firefighters, the OPP, Public Works, so many service clubs and businesses. And I think it really is one of those events in the year that brings together everybody. So we look forward to hosting that. The Quinte West Chamber of Commerce has been hosting that event since 1953. We are very proud of that legacy in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Doug?
Yeah, through the chair to the group, we had some really exciting news last week at the Tourism Industry Association of Ontario conference, where Trevor Norris from our team was named Tourism Champion of the Year for 2024. He had a big year, played a large role in the national soccer event. Was speaking on behalf of the region and the province at some events in BC and Nova Scotia, did some advocacy with the province as well. So that was a big deal. And we were also nominated for 2 awards, travel media and travel photography, and we won one for travel photography. So that was excellent too. Just looking at how the summer has transpired from an overnight accommodations point of view, the national hotel data is going in the right direction. We're up 4.5% over August of last year. And when we look at the full year, we're up over 2% over 2024. And what's unique there is average price is actually up over 5%. So even though the price continues to go up, the occupancy continues to go up as well. And so these are numbers higher than the Eastern Ontario average, which is what we like to see, and trending in the right direction. And part of that growth, and I've talked about this with this committee before, is because of some of the activity that this region does for golf. And we do a lot of work and spend money on pushing overnight golf packages through part of a provincial partnership called the Golf in Ontario program. So it's multiple destinations, pooling money and marketing group overnight package golf in Ontario. And so over 1,700 rounds booked in the Bay of Quinte region, over 700 room nights booked in the Quinte region. So that's worth almost $750,000 in economic activity. And same as last year, our region is out booking and outselling the other destinations in Ontario 2-1 as part of this program. So that's great for Quinte Region Golf. Just quickly as I finish up, Best of the Bay launched November 3rd, the beginning of this week. Voting's open for 3 weeks. So anybody who's not familiar with that program, started during COVID-19. So we had something to celebrate. Because we were all so desperate for something to grapple onto, and it's really become a great program now in its 5th year, and the whole idea is celebrating small businesses that you love. And when we reviewed this program as part of our business planning last year, what we found was all the winners were coming from Belleville and Quinte West, because that's where the bulk of the population is with our region, right? But anybody who's heard me speak before about our partnership, they know that Brighton, Napanee, and the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte are also part of this thing. So this year we changed the program a bit. We're doing it community specific. So if you want to go in and vote for your favorite Quinte West businesses as part of the Best of the Bay, there's over 40 categories that you can be voting on. You can vote on any of the other communities too. But specifically for Quinte West. And this is going to be good because to that end, you know, the smaller communities are going to see winners in each of the categories, which is great for those businesses. And overall, more businesses are going to win. And I know from chatting one-to-one with the businesses who become winners, it's a boost for them. You know, it's a confidence piece. It makes them realize, hey, I'm being recognized, makes them feel special. And I know when I'm out in the community, I'm starting to see, now that we're in multiple years, the stickers of Best of the Bay up there. So it's a point of pride, too, for those businesses to get the sticker up on the wall. Yeah, thank you.
Chris?
Thank you. Through the chair, just some updates from Quinte Economic Development. There's 2 organizations that we work very closely with that support key sectors in our community, one being the Quinte Manufacturing Association and the other being the Quinte Technology Association. And we've had 2 recent events supporting those two groups. So last night we had the QTA, the Quinte Tech Association, had a mingle event. We had a good mix of tech companies, some Loyalist College students, some entrepreneurs, some inventors, and all sorts of folks were out at this networking event we did last night. Just a chance for businesses to share information, ideas, best practices, and learn from each other. And then we had mid-October, we had the Quinte Manufacturing Association had a mingle. We had over 77 manufacturers out where they were doing a lot of, again, that networking and information sharing. And we've heard some great feedback in terms of supply chain connections where companies didn't realize, you know, that someone else was in the area, and there's conversations and companies are working back and forth to supply each other on with their various products and services. So that was really good for that event as well. We've applied to the TICP, the Tariff Impacted Community Program, to support our manufacturers with some resources to help them deal with the tariffs that are out there. And we've had that application in for, probably a month and a half now, and it's still working its way through the process. We're also looking at some federal development agency funding, to support our manufacturers. So we're halfway or 3/4 of the way through an application and looking to get that in. We were also part of an Eastern Ontario tariff strategy. So communities across Eastern Ontario work together to create some programming around tariff resilience for Eastern Ontario, and the Bay of Quinte region was very much part of that. And to support that, we're working on an export resource guide for our manufacturers. So a lot of those manufacturers that are very reliant on the U.S. marketplace for exports are looking at other jurisdictions now, and we're creating a bit of a guidebook to help them through that and bringing in partners. Out there in the community, it's kind of in the manufacturing sector that we primarily work in. It's kind of a mixed bag out there in terms of opportunities and barriers. We've been out talking to companies, and some are very seriously impacted by tariffs and are struggling. There's others that are growing, investing, trying to hire more people. So it's very much mixed. And same on the investment and attraction or recruitment side. There's still projects in the mix that are looking to come into the area that we're working through, and new inquiries coming in on a regular basis. But some of those projects are kind of hung up or paused, or they're in a wait and see mode, depending on what's happening out there. So it's not all doom and gloom. There's still opportunities out there, and we're chasing them down. And again, we do that in cooperation and partnership with our municipalities. So I know Linda was at our mingle that we had with the manufacturing group, and Louise and I were out to see a manufacturer, I think, last week. And yeah, so it's a great partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask a question? Yes, go ahead.
Chris, I wanted to ask you, AI, is that something the manufacturers are really looking into hardcore? Are you part of that, helping them with that whole thing?
Yeah, Joanna, through the chair to Joanna. Certainly AI is a topic we're pursuing at our last steering committee meeting, and Suzanne was there. That was a direction that our Quinte Manufacturing Association Steering Committee asked us to put together a workshop on artificial intelligence and the applications within the manufacturing sector. And my colleague Mike and I met with an AI expert that's kind of in the greater region that's we're working on being part of a panel discussion. We've been in conversations with Loyalist College on some of their faculty to be part of that. So yeah, manufacturers are looking at the adoption of AI into their processes. And yeah, and so there's some good opportunities out there, and some lessons learned. So yeah, we are working towards some kind of workshop on that, probably part of our sharing and learning series that we have with the QMA. So the answer is yes.
Yeah, Chris, as far as that federal budget, are manufacturers excited about that? Do they feel there'll be any impact? Because there is a lot of investment, supposedly, the government's putting into that now.
Yeah, I think there's a number of positive aspects to it. One is that the ability to write off your capital investments in year one versus stretching them out or having to amortize those over years. So that's a huge a huge opportunity. And I think it should attract more investment and make reduce that tax burden on some of those industries that are looking to invest. So I think that's a good sign. I really see a lot of opportunities coming up on the defense side. So as we're ramping up that defense spending, and we saw that in the budget, we're at 2% of our GDP this year. We're going to go to 5% within 10 years. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities in terms of aligning our manufacturers within that defense sector supply chain. And when I talked about that tariff impacted community program that we've applied for funding, that's one of the sectors we want to do some sector analysis, both in terms of recruitment of manufacturers within defense, but also creating those supply chain connections. And there are a number of companies that are already doing defense work, and I think the opportunities are going to be tremendous. So yeah, there's some very positive aspects about the budget.
Okay, not seeing any other questions. Regarding new and other business, understanding the impact of tariffs, U.S. visitation, and trade on Ontario's tourism sector. Do any of the board members have questions regarding that? Not seeing any. Okay, consider that closed. I'll go around the table and see if anyone has any new business to discuss or mention. Rosie? No. Ian?
No, I'm okay. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Shelley? No. Colleen? No. Brent?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay. Irene?
Sorry, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Joanna?
I just was reading this Tourism Industry Association of Ontario, the report that you gave us. I thought the numbers were very good. I was quite, quite pleased by the numbers of the tourism, and we did a lot better this year than we did previous years. I mean, some yes, some no. So I just wanted to say that I was very happy to read the numbers in the report because it was positive. That's all.
Very much so. We, through you, Mr. Chair, to Joanna March, we just came back from the Tourism Summit, as Doug had mentioned earlier. Shannon and I also attended that too. And they did talk about tariffs, and, it was kind of, there were actually a lot of them were from the RTO 9 area that did respond to the survey that they did, the business survey that they did. So it was, it has been fairly good. They did talk about also people doing, like, obviously, people making trips locally, more locally, and, the elbows up, arms out kind of concept. They did say that they were making more trips, but they aren't staying as long. But the quantity or that is still up, so that's making things really good too in terms of visitation numbers and that kind of thing in this region. So one of the things they did mention at the conference, and Doug might have more to add to this too, but it was the elbows up, arms out with the American. We had an American Chamber of Commerce member there that was speaking to us, and she did say that it was kind of still offensive to them. Like they think that things are way off base with what's happening down there now. So there have been fewer ones. They've been a little lenient to come or leery to come to Canada because they don't know how they'll be received. But so we just need to maybe put the arms more outstretched and accept what's happening as not likely coming from them specifically, but more from the government.
Ed? No, you're okay. Well, thank you everyone for attending, and two for adjournment, please. Okay, Ed and Joanna. Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you.